Alright, welcome back to the Supercoach Nuff channel. In this video we're going to review round 12 of the 2024 NRL Fantasy season. So a bit of a down week again for us with 758, which does see us fall back out of the top 20k, given that we finished 65,000 overall for the round. So still struggling a bit in this format, but the bye rounds are where we're going to hopefully make up a fair bit of ground. So we have Harry Grant with 50 points, was our hooker this week and our vice captain. In hindsight, it would have been nice to be able to grab that score. Sam Hughes with a 22, we had Willison, was probably the only other option in the middle. So definitely an area we need to really target through the bye rounds and obviously out the other side. Ruben Cotter with a 59, so a good return from him, but given he is playing Origin and the plan all along was to move him on, we will definitely look to do that. Josh Curran with a 51, going to be a really important part of our team over the next few weeks, so good to see he's churning out scores. Angus Crichton with a 54, so named in the New South Wales team, which I guess may mean we need to move him on, only being available for 1 out of the next 4 weeks. So, definitely a target there for a trade out. Sean Bloor with 23 on the bye this week, so we could potentially flip. But I think after this week, the Storm do have pretty decent coverage. Round 14, 16, 17 from memory. I'll just go and have a look at their draw real quick. Fixtures. Yeah, so 14, 16, 17. So by around 13, 19, and then that's it. So, if we can cover these down weeks, definitely in the next few, I think the Storm assets will be quite handy. K Weeks with the 51, so continuing to carve up. Glad that we've got him in the team. Nico Hines, so not as bad as his Supercoach output, scoring 17 before getting injured and staying off the field. And obviously now is going to play for New South Wales, so another one that's unavailable this week. Hero 26, Kiros was the star with 79. Dylan Edwards was 70 as well, so awesome return. And congratulations to Dylan Edwards getting his call up to the Origin team finally. Scott Drinkwater with a 46 is going to be useful for the next couple of weeks. And Tyron Wishart with the 39. So obviously similar to Bloor, we'll hold this week, bring him in for round 14, 16, 17. On the bench, Lockie Galvin, obviously on the bye this week, but we talked about how good the Storm run is after the bye. The Tigers is even better. They don't have another bye after this week till round 26. So next week, Tigers are a big target. Storm assets will be a target. And this man over here will also be a massive target, given he's missed out, David Fafita. But we'll talk about him more next week. Blaze Talungi with a 38. So, going to be useful. Extra numbers this week. Potentially, I guess we will move Kiraz into the wing fullback spot. Wilson with a 22. And Fini Fuyaki with a 17. We probably should have played Bostock after that, but I just completely forgot, if I'm being honest. So we missed out on 8 points by not looping in Bostock. But again, that's not the worst thing in the world. In terms of the matchup this week, I haven't even looked at this yet. I always forget. So round 12. So it was pretty well done by Para Beast. So well done, Sahan. I think that's how you say that. So both had Harry Grant. I had him covered in the middles. So I guess, Fafita and Crichton, that's a sick edge forward combo. So I guess, that probably cancels out the Josh Curran points. Dylan Brown as captain is obviously, a big difference maker. So what's that? 117 versus what I had. So easy 30 points on me there. Ewan Aitken was 76, so he could be a really useful asset during this Origin period. And then, wing fullback, like Weeks, Tedesco with 69, Kiraz. Yeah, really good. I guess I did have Edwards cover Tedesco, but had Kiraz. But Ewan Aitken, one of the difference makers there. Garrick with 44 is good too. And the bench a little bit stronger perhaps as well. No 17s, no 22s. So all in all, yeah, pretty well done. If we go back to all the matchups, fixtures, any massive scores? So it looks like eight. So it looks like 875 was the top score this week. So probably just unlucky in terms of matching up. What could possibly go wrong? Probably second best with the 868, and Fantasy Wannabes with an 835. So that's a tough matchup. So Reece Robson, little difference maker there with an extra 7 on Harry Grant. Had Cotter and Max King with a 56 is nice. Thomas McKaylee with 37. He's been really good. What's he up to now? 350k. Nice. Fino with a 53. Definitely one to target in round 14. Dual position, not overly expensive. Not injured like Bateman, Papali'i, and the like. Both played Galvin. Nice. Has Kiraz as well, so that probably got him to the 868 point. Had Aitken on the bench as well. So the Wannabes keeping Jamin Salmon. Well done. I was so filthy that I traded him after he got over for 2 tries. Looked really good playing that. There seems to be a few teams exploiting that role where a player will start on the edge and then move into the lock forward spot. Jack DeBellin seemed to do something similar for the Dragons. So Jamin Salmon is probably going to be a really nice option through the Origin period. Excuse me. But we'll go back to my team and have a look at how we're travelling for this week. So we've got Brayley we can bring in. We don't really have a middle forward we can bring in. So Fini Fuiaki can come in. And then bring Talangi in so that we can move Kiraz to the fullback. And I think Armstrong, obviously. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 currently. So obviously we've got Hines, Crichton, and Cotter, who are all playing Origin. So as I said, given we were always going to trade out Cotter, so we'll absolutely put him on the chopping block, as well as Crichton. So, we could potentially do a third trade, but I guess we'll do those two first and see what we can come up with. So Cotter out, Crichton out. So looking for a middle and an edge, and we can't do multiple teams in this one, can we? So we'll just go by position then. So middles, and we'll just go through. So got Isaiah Yo's playing Origin. Obviously, we'll just skip the buy players also. Less filters would help. Hopgood's playing Origin, would be a great target. McKinnis playing Origin. So the first option, Jack DeBellin, as I said, looked pretty good against the Dogs, scored 60. And the Dragons do cover round 13, 14. So not the worst option. Nat Butcher didn't play last week, so maybe he comes back in for Crichton, but, the Roosters have the bye round 14. Not sure I want that. Max Plath is one I'm interested in. I talked about him in the Supercoach round review as an option for Crichton. And I guess, the dual position's pretty handy too. Dolphins cover 13, 16, 19, as we've said all along. So, I might even look at bringing Plath in there straight away. He should have, traded with Cotter. Any other options? Max King, obviously. I guess we just have to be mindful. We do have 3 Bulldogs players. You could go with the 4th because they do cover 13, 14, 16, 17, but they do have a buy in round 15. So, you're sort of hoping everyone else in your squad plays if you've got the 4th Bulldog in your squad. Joe Tarpany plays this week, but not next week. Same with Terrell May. Adam Elliott. So the Knights do have good buy coverage. What's his 3-round average? 37. So a bit down in the last few weeks. So maybe not. So I think, I'm pretty happy with Max Plath. Like Morgan Smithies has been a bit down. Tommy Hazleton, no try, no points. After that, we're getting to very much the mid-range options. So yeah, so I do like Max Blath as an option. Angus Crichton's an interesting one because the obvious target, if we go to the edges, is Dave Fafita. Doesn't play this week, but plays around 16 and 19 now that Queensland has essentially brushed him. So, it's one of those things that we wait a week and bring him in. Doesn't really help us this week. A player like you and Aiken we could bring in, I think, in form, dual position, super good. Dolphins have great coverage. So I think, I'm going to make that move as well. Aiken, so a couple of Dolphins players. Should be able to cover him next week. Round 18 as well is the other issue, but again, we've only got Bostock as well, who I guess we could trade if we need to. But let's lock those two trades in. So we've got 12. And then, it might even be that, we want to keep Galvin, Mushat. Willison could potentially go. I think we'll hang on to Blore, Edwards, and Johnson. So it's a decision of if we trade out Willison, who does give us a bit of cover in the forwards, or Jack Bostock. We've probably got more coverage at wing fullback. So even though we held him for the buys, we're doing pretty well this week. Round 16 is a bit of a struggle, but do we? Yeah, I don't know what we do. Let's have a look anyway. So trade him out. We're probably looking for a half if we're being entirely honest, because we want to pair Hines with someone this week. What do we got to spend? 802. So that leaves the door pretty open, I think. We Jerome Hughes on the buy. Could get Dylan Brown. Matt Burton, I think his 18th man will have to sit out this week. So that's a bit of a shame for Bulldogs fans like myself. Ben Hunt's playing Origin. Hastings has the good coverage, but average of 47, we're starting to get into a bit iffy territory. Sam Walker maybe for this week, but probably not a long-term play. Luai's obviously playing Origin. Ethan Strange, didn't actually score that well last week at 29. What's Toby Sexton? 500k, only scored 42. Bailey Hayward's an interesting one, starting at lock as a half. He's already made 100k this year. Do we go on Braden Trindle? Given that he should come in. Where's Atkinson? How's he going? 400k for Atkinson? Because he does have dual position. Did look pretty good filling in for Hines previously. Could even be that case as they could move Atkinson to 7. They might just slot Trindle in the 7 and leave Atkinson at 6. So obviously covers this lot of buys, which is nice, 13, 14, but then I'm pretty sure they're out 16 and 19. Out 16, or out 20. So that's probably not the craziest, but go back to my team. Or do we? We might just run with 12 this week, because I guess the other thing is we do need to be mindful next week. We've got 4 out as it is with Bostock weeks, 8 count the play. So probably a bigger argument to trade out Bostock is looking at we need 17 next week, and there's going to be 3 teams on bye, and that's assuming Grant, Edwards back up, Hines backs up. So I think we do need to trade Bostock to a half. So do we just? I think we just go the smart option or the obvious option in the halves. Dylan Brown against the Sharks is obviously not the best matchup, but he'll cover this week and next week, and I think they go all right after that too. Let's have a look. I've got Talangi, same team fixtures. So they don't play 16 but cover 17, play 19 but not 20. So I think that was the same. What did we just look at? The Sharks. So Sharks or Eels, same sort of draw. So I guess it's just, do we think Dylan Brown's going to go all right against the Sharks defence? Obviously got embarrassed by Penrith last week. I think they'll lift. So for that reason, I am leaning back towards Atkinson. So let's reverse it. And we'll go Bostock out, Atkinson in. So it gets us to the 300. Oh, sorry, the 13 for the week. Don't know where I got number 300 from. Yeah, that's fine. All right, and then Atkinson just swaps with Hines. And then we've got 13 this week. So doing all right. And then I guess once this is locked in, we'll do the round review, preview, sorry, and all that on Thursday. But once this is locked in, we'll go to the buy planner and think a bit more serious. So still got 400k, so that makes it nice and easy for us to get to Fafita next week. We've got 3 Dogs, 2 Dolphins. Even for next week, the Dolphins and Raiders is 3. So, well covered for 14, 15, 18. We'll just have to check on the buy plan of 16. Like, I know Newcastle will be out, but we'll probably hold those 2. Finny Filiaki will be out, but he could be the one that goes for Fafita next week if the money works out. Obviously, it's going to take more than one trade, but we've got 10 up our sleeve. Drinkwater will probably have to go before round 16 too. So yeah, so we'll do all that advanced planning, but I think we're locked in with 13 this week at the moment. We'll obviously see how it goes come Teamless Tuesday. I guess just captain, vice captain sort of options. Obviously no sort of standout type candidates. So it's whether we sort of go for like a half or mid option like a Max Plath, Josh Curran, KO Weeks in the halves potentially. Atkinson could kick goals. So that's probably the argument for someone like a Dylan Brown. It's a pretty obvious captain option. But I guess what I'm leaning towards is probably Weeks as captain. Maybe Drinkwater as vice captain. Something like that. But we'll just leave it for that. And obviously, the round preview will come up and we'll see team lists. We'll see, what's going on. We'll have a bit more of a think about it and we'll go from there. So, as always, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, please feel free to add them below this video. Give us a like if you enjoy the NRL Fantasy content. Subscribe for all the fantasy sports content across the channel. And other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.